guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on InRangeTV. We are here today with this SIG PE-57. Boy, it's a nice rifle.
What a rare opportunity. There's not a lot of these in the States. They're exquisitely manufactured Swiss watch rifles. We just got done doing a comparison on the timer against a G3.
Yeah.
And we did better times with this rifle than we did the G3.
That's really a nice rifle.
And you know, this is one of the only other delayed roller service rifles that were ever put into service with a real military.
Right, it's pretty much just the HK series and these.
So I don't think we're done with this test yet. Why don't you go get some screwdrivers out of the back of the truck? Because I need to do something else real quick.
Okay, we're gonna take it apart?
Yeah, we're gonna take it apart.
I'll go get screwdrivers. Hey Carl, I don't see anything.
I got the mud right here!
Oh God, what are you doing?
Mud test!
Oh, to that?
Of course!
All right, so we're really doing this, aren't we?
We are really doing this. We actually have permission from the owner. I am very astonished by that, but thankful to Bob for letting us do this to this incredible rifle. And there's a rare opportunity to test another delayed roller system besides the G3 and the Cetme, which we've already done. We saw the G3, which is 308, do pretty well. The Cetme-L astonished us and did very well. In fact, it really passed. And one of the thoughts we had is maybe it's the speed of the bolt in a 5.56 versus the speed of a bolt in a 308. I don't know, but you can't get a better and nicely machined, or nicer machined, delayed roller gun than this.
Now, I have to say, I don't expect that this will actually work.
I don't either. There's a lot of ingress path here.
And that goes straight into the receiver. And then we should point out for people, what's that kind of amber colored thing? This right here, that's actually the lever that hits the firing pin. So the hammer hits this, that hits the firing pin. I think it's conceivable if we get too much mud in that, it might actually not even fire the very first round.
I don't know. This is honestly the first gun we've done this to that I'm like, you sure? Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, go for it. I'm like, are you sure? Okay, that's what we're doing.
All right, let's do it.
We got our 7.5 Swiss here. Oh, by the way, guys, part of the Swiss wonderfulness of this is this. If you've ever done a G3, some G3s are better than others, but that's like glass. And the safety is on.
Alrighty.
All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
It does sit on the barrel very nicely. I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up for that. I'm going to not hit it with the shovel. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus, that's horrible.
That kind of hurt me a little bit. All right, we'll do the other side.
The other side is a lot less important. There's not really any ingress area on the other side.
Got to be consistent. Oh, God. You know what? I think I did a nice job of not getting it in the rear sight.
Yeah, no reason to mess that up.
Okay, so here we go.
All right, let's take a look at the other. Oh, wow. Okay.
There it is.
All right, safety, and let's see if it runs.
Let me find the safety. There it is. Hey, you know what? Let's use the winner trigger. Ready?
Go for it.
4 rounds before we had our first malfunction.
Okay.
Looks like a failure to feed,
Let me see if I can get
think.
Little hard to say. I can't see in there very well. So if you take the mag out, everything's lost.
All right, so just run the action.
I think try cycling it. Looks like it's in battery.
1 round. Another failure to feed.
We have a total of 12 in there, by the way. But yes, let's see. We're getting some gunk on the rollers. That can't be a good thing.
Yeah, but the roller's not the problem here. It's just not it's not stripping the round out of the magazine.
You know, I suspect what's happening is we got some mud up into that charging handle slot, and that's dragging on the bolt, and it's not cycling all the way back.
It's retarding the bolt.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is pull it back. Battery?
It'll go forward, but it won't go back.
Okay, we're not quite there.
This is worse.
This is an instance in where a forward assist might actually help. All right, I'm just going to run the action.
You have to cycle it back.
All right.
All right.
All right, this is per round. I'm just going to run it again. It's getting worse, guys, per shot.
It makes sense if we're getting more mud in it.
Same thing. And we're done. I can't run the action. It is now frozen.
All right, so pull the mag out. How many do we get total?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds left.
All right.
4 rounds left.
So I think we got 8 rounds out of it.
8 rounds with a bunch of remedial action. It is now pretty much stuck.
You know, it's interesting. Normally, the
It's frozen. It's completely frozen. Here, you want to hold this?
no, ew, yeah.
All right, so this is a little different. It did worse than the G3.
Yep.
Definitely did worse than the Cetme-L.
Yeah.
I think there is something to the bolt velocity of the 5.56.
It's interesting that it pretty much always opened.
It did. You know, this failed differently.
It did, very much differently.
It wasn't so much a problem initially of going into battery, which is what we've experienced with so many guns.
Right.
Infamously, the AK.
Yeah.
This was a problem of it cycling completely and being able to chamber around.
Right.
As though the mainspring, recoil spring, did not have enough oomph to overcome the goo to get the round stripped out of the magazine and into the chamber.
Now, I can't quite tell, but was it stopping at, you're right, it was ejecting every case.
Completely extracted and ejected every round.
So the bolt came all the way back, kicked the round out, and then stopped when it went forward.
And I pulled the magazine out, and it was this is kind of in situ. It would get it partially out of the magazine and then get stuck.
Okay.
But there's no forward assist because the bolt handle is non-reciprocating.
Right.
And therefore, the only action you have is to pull it all the way to the rear and let it go under the full force of the recoil spring in an attempt to defeat the goo to get the round chambered.
I'm kind of impressed that actually worked as many times as it did.
I lost count, but it worked for a number of rounds.
It was like 3 or 4 rounds.
Until it got to the point, I'll put this on the mat, until it got to the point where, as I said, it literally is frozen.
Yeah.
I cannot move this at all. And now I have nothing I can do. I could put this forward, which does me no good. I could pull it back. Whoops. No, I can't. That's frozen too now. But I can't get the handle back with enough force to get whatever's causing this to... Oh!
Jammed up on the roller.
Give me the magazine. I'm just gonna try it. All right, the magazine's in. You got me?
Yep.
All right.
I think you're out of ammo now.
No, one more. Now we're not feeding. One round. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to conclusion. So we got what, 3 more rounds back?
Yeah.
So what I did is I put that there and I kind of just futzed with the roller. No real forward assist, nothing to grab onto, but by futzing with it, it was just enough.
Right.
And I got a couple more rounds out of it. And then the last round of the magazine, probably because something's stuck on the follower or something, it couldn't feed.
You know, it's also possible that magazine's not perfect. Okay. We did all the rest of our shooting with the other magazine, which has this cool sticker on it, and we didn't want to mess up.
It didn't look like it was getting up high enough.
Yeah.
At any rate, so...
That's interesting.
Better than I expected.
You know what? These kind of guns with this test kind of fall into one of 3 categories. There's some that actually just work, and they work because they don't let mud in. There are some that let mud into such critical areas so quickly that they just flat don't work.
The VZ58.
The M1 Garand is also a perfect example. The Garand, the Carbine, the M14, that whole family just insto death.
It craps the bed and dies.
And then we've got that middle range of guns that work a little bit, but they're letting mud in, and either they don't work really well, or like this one, they'll work for a little while, but they get a little slower and sluggish, or more sluggish each time. You know, there may be enough space in there that it's clearing out.
You know, do you have any more ammo?
I can load some more.
This is drying.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and pause.
Okay.
Let's fill up another mag, or fill that up a little bit. And we saw this with the G3. After the mud dried a little, it started running perfectly. So since this is another delayed roller system, why don't we give it another shot?
All right, let's do it.
How many chances we get to do this?
None if Bob sees this video.
All right, guys, we've let this dry a little bit. We noticed on the G3 when we were actually doing our conclusion discussion, the gun started running normally again after the mud kind of dried up a little bit, and we started seeing similar behavior with this. We got 12 more rounds, probably 11. The magazine doesn't like the last round. We're going to try it after the mud's just dried up a little bit. So let's see what happens. All right, I kind of egged it on a little bit, but here we go. Nope. Same exact thing we saw with the G3. So these guns have a lot more in common than we'd expect. Once the filth got out of the way and it dried a little bit, it's starting to run normally. So guys, once we saw this starting to work again, just like the G3 did when the mud kind of dried up, I wanted to give, this is a rare opportunity, and I wanted to give this gun, which is another delayed roller, the chance to do the same thing. Yeah. So we loaded up the mag, and after the first round, I had to hit it in the battery by tapping the roller, and it went in the battery. And then after that, it just started kind of working.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I could tell you firing it, it felt sluggish.
Okay.
It was kind of like bang, shlunk, bang, shlunk, but working.
Well, I think what's happening is as the mud dries, it's able to get kicked out of these critical surfaces. As long as it's wet, you know, the bolt can slide by and it kind of just mushes it into different places. Once it dries out, it's easier for it to kind of powderize and kick it out of the receiver or down into the trigger group where it may eventually cause problems, or elsewhere kind of out of the way.
But, you know, we've seen that same behavior now with 2 different delayed roller rifles.
That's true.
So there's something about that system, that action, that has a proclivity to being able to self-heal.
Yeah.
The AK kind of worked manually.
And again, part of this issue is with these, we're not getting mud into the locking surfaces of the gun. We're getting it into the reciprocating tracks. But with the AK and with the M1, we got that mud into the locking surfaces. And once it's in there, you just can't pound it out of the way because there's no place for it to go.
Well, I would also say, actually, I don't know if that's completely true. There was definitely dirt on the rollers.
Some.
But
Yeah,
remember,
right.
the roller recesses are cut differently than a locking lug recess would be. There might be some give and take in there for some dirt to get within the roller recess, right? And not prohibit the gun from firing, right? In fact, some dirt behind the roller could still mean it's in battery.
That's true.
If you think about the physics of a delayed roller system. Right. So it's interesting to note that the 2 308s worked pretty well and worked better after they dried up.
Yep.
The Cetme-L, which is generally considered a bad rifle, actually did the best.
Yeah, weirdly.
I think it has something to do with the bolt velocity of 5.56. One more thing I want to tip of my hat to the Swiss to is, can we have more of these cool cold winter triggers, because they're awesome for mud tests?
Well, we'll have to do a BM59 next because they've got those.
That was really nice.
It was.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. So anyways, call it home.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this sort of video, please consider checking out our Patreon page. If you do that, subscribe there. We won't come to your house and cover your PE57 in mud. Pretty good deal, right?
That sounds like an awesome Patreon benefit.
If not, we understand, of course. Check us out on YouTube and Full30, and of course our Facebook page as well. Thanks for watching.
And how can you not enjoy fine Swiss engineering?